Alright folks, I welcome you all to Wordplay, a fun way to learn new words. The topic for today's videos is how you can improve your vocabulary quickly and in a fun way. Before moving any further, I'd like to invite you to watch my previous video on the top 10 reasons why you should invest in your vocabulary. The reason I'm asking you to watch this video is because if you do not really have a desire or a need to improve your vocabulary, you will not be able to successfully improve your vocabulary quickly. So please watch the video on top 10 reasons why you should invest in your vocabulary before moving any further. Alright, moving on. So how should you improve your vocabulary? There are various methodologies, tips and tricks available throughout the internet. What is the best and the most efficient way to improve your vocabulary? Today I'm going to talk about that. When we were first introduced to computers, we came to understand that the computers actually operate in three modes, or there are three ways in which the computers deal with their external surroundings or information. First, the computers take in information or input from the user. They take in input from the user and then they process the information. And after processing the information, they generate the output that the user can understand. So this is how a computer works. Now, what I'm talking about the computer is solely for the reason that our brains are computers. They operate in the same way. We have our input devices, our eyes, our nose, our ears, our sensory receptors which give us information about our surroundings, and then our brain or the CPU which processes the information, and then we go on to provide our outputs. With our hands, our limbs, our entire body, and we can do a lot of complicated movements. We can walk, we can ride, play sports, etc. etc. So we contribute to our surroundings in some way, we take in information in some way, we process it, and then we get an output. Meanwhile, another important thing to understand is that of storing new information. This is concerning the memory system. As important as input and output are, storing new information into our brains is also very important. So taking this computer analogy, I just wanted to introduce the way systems operate. Now I'll use this knowledge and help you understand how you can learn new words, improve your vocabulary, enhance your communication skills easily and quickly based on the principles I just introduced you to. Your goal is to improve your vocabulary, to learn more and more words as soon as possible, and to not just learn new words, actually use them in your daily communications, right? So to achieve that goal, the first and the foremost requirement is you need to take in new words, you need to absorb new information, you need to learn new words every single day. Taking in new information comes in various forms. It depends on you, and again, the goal here is to have fun and enjoy in the process of learning new words, and not just do it for the sake of clearing an exam or keeping an end result in mind. Of course, the output is important, but if you're not having fun in the process, you are wasting your life. So I would say having fun while learning is the most important thing you can do. Remember that success is not the key to happiness. Happiness is the key to success. So to succeed in learning new words as well, you need to enjoy, have fun, and be happy in the process of learning. So you can take in new information through reading new books. You should read books that interest you. That way you encounter a lot of new words. So while reading books of your choice and interest, you take in information and grasp it quickly. Or if you're not that much into reading, I'd suggest that you start watching movies, English movies. That will also introduce a lot of new words to you. If watching movies is too time consuming for you, I'd suggest you start listening to more and more songs, because even songs introduce you to newer words. And since your ultimate goal is to use words in your communications and to communicate better, I would suggest you do any of these things, because The more English content you are consuming, the better output you will be able to give. You are what you eat, right? So listening to music is one thing. You can read newspapers, you can read literature, and then move on to harder literature, and then ultimately move on to classics. So slowly you're increasing the level of difficulty of the text that you're consuming, and your vocabulary will definitely grow in this way. However, I'm not a big fan of reading newspapers and literature because I find them boring and uninteresting. So, my way of learning is reading books, watching movies, listening to music. Do whatever feels best for you. The important thing is to have fun while taking in as much information as you can, right? Another important thing I would like to talk about is storing new information, not just directly in your memory but also in a particular notebook, or if you're on computer most of the time, I would recommend use Notepad or Microsoft Word. But what I personally prefer is OneNote. In fact, I'm making this video on OneNote because of the various features it offers and its simplicity of use. I'd recommend use OneNote to store new words any day. You need to process the information for learning to happen. So how do you process the information? There are various techniques. There are infinite number of techniques for learning, and I've list down the ones that have worked for me. Personally, I find mnemonics to be pretty effective ways of learning new words. Now, our brains work by associations. One neuron connects with another neuron, and then another neuron is linked with another neuron, and so on. Likewise, millions and trillions of neurons are connected to each other. So it's obvious to understand that if you're willing to introduce a new word or anything new into your system, you need to link it or associate it with something you already know. So mnemonics work pretty well in this case because the core of mnemonics lies in linking a word or a silly visualization or image that you already understand or are familiar with. I have put down this playlist called WordPlay Vocab, which basically uses this technique of mnemonics, visualizations, images, and emotion evoking content to help you process the information quickly and easily and in a fun way. Another way, as I've talked about, or whether you're watching a movie or listening to it, you need to pay full attention to it, or involves as many sense organs as possible. Because if you're taking information from a variety of senses or receptors, you're going to process it better. Another way is using images or creating images for every new word that you encounter with, and that image should be again associated with something you already are familiar with. There's another method, the old school method I would say, is repetition or revision of the new words. Repetition is in some ways necessary even if you're learning by the method of mnemonics or involving all your sense organs or using images, because no matter what method you use, after a few days, you're going to forget the new words. So you need to repeat and revise the older words that you had previously learned. So repetition and revision is a must. It's not sufficient to just take in all the information and learn new words. You need to be able to apply the words, use it in your sentences, use it in your writings, in your conversations, in your speeches. Because learning without a purpose is of no use. The purpose here should be to actually use these words in your communication. That is what I urge you to do. So how can you use these words in your output? Now, trying to directly use your words in your daily communications can be daunting at times, especially if you're not a native speaker. It would be easier if you have a friend who is also trying to learn new words, so you can just help each other out in your communications and introduce new words to each other, so communications can be made more interesting. If you're willing to learn new words on your own and you do not want to depend on anyone, it's still alright. You can start writing. Writing is easy. You can just start with a daily journal on whatever activities. You can write your thoughts, your emotions, anything in a journal, and that will help you think of new words as you're writing, and slowly you'll be able to use all those words which you have been taking in your writing. The important thing is to cultivate the habit of writing. Start with writing only a few words 50 words per day, not a big deal. Another important thing is you can use the word directly, 5 sentences directly, and that will further strengthen the neurons associated with the new words you just learned. Or you can write new scripts and jokes if you're into all these stuffs. Again, it all depends on what brings you fun, what is exciting to you, and how you can learn new words quickly. What is the most efficient way for you? Everyone is different, everyone will have a different style of learning. So you can also use the method of flashcards, remembering new words, or guessing the meaning of the word from the list of the words that you made. Again, this is only to recall the word. While you're guessing the word, you're thinking and you're trying to remember. But what I would recommend is to use the word in 5 or more sentences, or use a journal or write a journal. You can use word games. You can use word games. A lot of Android apps are available. You can check out my videos on top 10 best vocabulary builder apps. There are a few apps that feature gaming as the core of introducing new words. Watch that video and let me know what you think. Start speaking and pronouncing. Give speeches, or you could join Toastmasters or wherever you could actually speak out and use these words in your communications, conversations, wherever you go. So these are the ways you can quickly improve your vocabulary. Only reading books or consuming information is not sufficient unless you are willing to give it an extra effort to process and also create something out of those new words you're learning. Now let me show you how I am using OneNote as a tool to improving my vocabulary. So I've created a vocabulary section in my OneNote notebook. I try to guess the meaning of this word, and if I do not know, I'll click on it. And storing the meaning of the word does not take any time, because as soon as I encounter a new word, I make sure I have my phone with me. Now OneNote also has a badge where you can save your notes without unlocking the phone. So it really helps. So I just store my new word, and whenever I have time, I just open up this vocabulary list and I'll try to guess the meanings of the word that I just read. And if I do not remember, I'll try to memorize it or create a mnemonic. Like, for instance, I have this word called wanted, and I created this mnemonic to help me memorize it quickly. Wanted basically means boasted about. So the sentence is, to appear cool to his friends, he wanted off his haunted house. Now, I've linked the word wanted here with the word haunted because I already know what haunted means. So, to appear cool to his friends, he boasted of his haunted house. The moment I come across this word, I'll link it with the word haunted, I'll remember this sentence, and I can remember it easily. Now, it is important to understand that even when you're using mnemonics, you need to revise it on regular periods of time, although you would need to revise much less as you would have to do otherwise, because you already have a memory key with you to help you remember it quickly. Again, I have all these words. Ignoble is dishonorable. I have already learned these words, and so I remember them, and I've created mnemonics that help me remember these words quickly. And if you're interested in knowing how to create mnemonics, you can just comment on this video, and if I have enough requests, I'll make a video about mnemonics and how to use them to learn new words quickly. Consider another word, apposite. I have linked it with the word appropriate. A simple association with the word appropriate. So the simpler and the easier the mnemonic, the easier it is to help you recall the word. Maladroit. I already know the meaning of the word adroit, which is skillful. So maladroit means not skillful or clumsy. So likewise, I have all these words. So let me summarize the process. I just read books, I watch movies and listen to songs, and I note down the new words I encounter. In my OneNote account, I create mnemonics to help me memorize the word, or visualizations, or sometimes an image or a sentence does. And then whenever I feel like writing, I just write down anything and everything that comes into my mind and try to use the new words that I learned. A very simple process, a very effective process. Nothing fancy used here. And if you're having trouble creating mnemonics, I'd recommend that you watch my playlist on WordPlay Vocab, which uses this technique of visualizations, mnemonics, and emotion-evoking content that helps you create stronger connections in your brain. So I've put together this playlist called WordPlay Vocab. Let me know if you like that concept, so I'll make more videos of that format. I'll add more words into the wordplay vocab list. Just comment below. Also subscribe to this channel if you are willing to improve your vocabulary, because I'll be uploading new videos every single week now. So if this helped you, please hit the like button and subscribe.